Channel 4, WWL TV, New Orleans. Garland Robinette, Angela Hill, Jim Henderson, and meteorologist Dave Barnes with Channel 4's Eyewitness News at 6.
Good evening. New Orleans City Council members are greeting word of a decreased budget deficit with skepticism tonight.
George Ryan reports that while everyone hopes the Morial administration's final revenue report is correct, there is plenty of doubt.
Council members are skeptical. The administration's latest fiscal portrait paints the deficit at $6.7 million, a picture $4.5 million brighter than the administration's March outlook.
I think it's impossible to embrace it as gospel. It doesn't matter, you know, when you're in water over your head, whether it's a foot or 2 feet or 3 feet, it's, 6 inches here or there, it's not going to make that big a difference.
First quarter sales tax collections are off dramatically, falling more than $6 million short of projections.
It's reflective of the economic state of the city and the region.
With development slowed, revenue from city licenses and permits fell too, off nearly $3 million during the first quarter. In all, first quarter revenues are short of projections by $7.8 million. First quarter expenditures show city belt-tightening on labor costs. Since January, 313 city employees have been terminated, another 290 demoted or transferred. With the elimination of 400 unfilled positions, the administration claims the city's workforce is shrinking to nearly 6,000 employees, the lowest level in more than a decade. A March expenditure report shows a projected deficit of $12.2 million for the city, but first quarter bills and income revised that deficit, the administration says, to 6.7. No matter whose set of facts turn out to be right, one thing is certain. The squeeze is on at City Hall, and it's not likely to get better anytime soon. This is George Ryan, Channel 4, Eyewitness News.
One Barthélemy aide adds that while he hopes the Morial administration's final figures are correct, he suspects they will not reflect reality 6 months from now.
Lawmakers on Capitol Hill have approved a resolution by U.S. Senator J. Bennett Johnston that would benefit unemployed oil and gas workers. Johnston wants a federal relief program extended to include workers who have lost their jobs because of domestic cutbacks. Currently, only oil and gas workers who have lost their jobs because of foreign imports are eligible for the program, which retrains workers for other jobs. However, officials say it is unlikely the Senate's resolution will cause the White House to expand the program.
In the meantime, lawmakers in Baton Rouge are trying not to expand the state's already huge budget deficit. One effort to reduce state spending ran into trouble today. The House Education Committee was tackling a group of bills to eliminate tuition exemptions certain students get. But John Snell reports lawmakers discovered stiff opposition to one item and backed down.
They are on the front lines in times of emergency, at hurricanes, in flooding. And that was the image National Guardsmen brought with them when they arrived to do battle in Baton Rouge. In numbers and in uniform, the mission to save their cherished exemption on tuition at state universities.
There's no single program of enhancement to our state that means any more to us than the tuition.
The more than $1 million savings from wiping out the exemption is part of a much broader package to emerge from a special committee on budget cuts weeks ago. But Education Committee members ran head-on into a popular special interest.
But we've got to have courage to start doing what we've got to do.
Others argue this exemption is different.
I don't think that the colleges are losing any money.
Mr. Jackson?
Yes.
The committee wound up deferring action, a move that could kill the legislation. Governor Edwards, for one, has argued the package of cuts will fall apart when the heat is on.
Where it's extremely emotional and extremely controversial, you're going to see many of them do as this one has today.
House Speaker John Alario must hold the troops together.
I'm a bit disappointed that that special interest group got their way this morning, but I don't think it's destroying the whole program.
Forward! Hard!
Legislative leaders argue the political climate is still right for deep cuts. But this time, spending forces won the day.
There is actually more symbolism in the vote than effect on the budget. The state probably won't miss the $1 million. But every little state program has its own special interest group, and the few snowflakes of protest in the early going may hit lawmakers like an avalanche in the weeks ahead.
John Snell, Channel 4 Eyewitness News, Baton Rouge.
A House committee passed 2 bills that would allow Louisiana to get more labor out of state prison inmates. One bill would allow the state to use inmates to pick up litter on state highways. Currently, inmates are used to pick up trash only on parish roads. The other bill would allow prison inmates to work on construction or maintenance projects within prison grounds. State officials say using inmate labor on those projects could save taxpayers up to $90,000.
Rulings are expected tomorrow on some important defense motions at the federal fraud and racketeering retrial of Governor Edwards and 4 others. Among the decisions expected from the judge, whether or not any of the defendants will be cleared of all charges due to allegedly insufficient evidence against them. Today, the jury was treated to a 4-hour riverboat ride while attorneys argue the motions.
In the meantime, the jury is still out tonight at the trial of Rick Tonry. The jury began deliberations this afternoon following closing arguments. Tonry is accused of bribing an Indian chief for $25,000 in exchange for a contract to run bingo games on his reservations. Tonry claims it was a legitimate business deal.
The Delgado Dolphins try to find a new mode of transportation following last week's accident.
And an asbestos cleanup begins in an uptown neighborhood.
You're looking at a heart attack, and so are the heart specialists at the Gulf South Heart Center. Using this unique equipment and its pictures of the heart, they're going to stop this attack before it's too late. They're the first hospital in Louisiana to use digital imaging to save lives. No wonder more diagnostic heart procedures are done here than anywhere else in the state. The Gulf South Heart Center at East Jefferson General Hospital, where the future of medicine is working today.
I know these customers can't wait to tell me the West slogan. Excuse me, ma'am? Sir? Hurry into West for huge savings on Ornite fiberglass panels in a variety of sizes, perfect for patio covers, breezeways, or garage areas. But can you say the West slogan? And West has slashed the price on Sunbelt 10 by 20 foot clear or black polyethylene. Great for drop cloths or landscaping. Price to sell now at West.
I'll do it for you, Sonny. Buy the best. Buy it for less. Buy it at West.
Mom.
Phone Ford. Phone Ford. Phone Ford.
Phone Ford.
Yes, indeed. We're making people happy. And Mr. Bone just made a special buy on T-Birds. You save $2,000 and they're loaded with power windows, power seats, stereo, radio, and cassette, speed control, and more. Save $2,000 and get low 9.9 financing. Yes, we cut prices to the bone. Get the happy feeling and come to Bone Ford. This is great. Delicious. Hey, look.
Thanks, honey. I love it.
This is a paradise. It's so romantic.
For world-famous jazz brunch for dinner.
Come to the Court of Two Sisters.
She was a 26-year-old barmaid from Chicago named Mary Janish, and police say last night she became the victim of one of the most gruesome murders in New Orleans history. Police have arrested and charged 43-year-old Jack Beasley. Police say he was seen leaving an Irish Channel bar with Janish only a half hour before her body was found. Police say she had been beheaded and her body was extremely butchered. Police say Beasley is an offshore worker with no permanent address. He was arrested in an apartment on Britannia Street where he had been staying.
Hazardous waste workers are removing asbestos from an uptown drainage canal. The Sewage and Water Board says the industrial waste containing 1% asbestos was illegally discharged into the underground canal by International Building Products. Peterson Marine, which is cleaning up the site, says the public is not in danger.
Well, the material itself, being asbestos in its present form in a drain, is relatively safe at this point. It's mixed in with the sand and sediments from the streets. There is no danger at this time of any airborne contamination. We are taking all the necessary precautions that's required by the Environmental Protection Agency and Louisiana air quality people.
The corner of Valmont and Constance will be closed to traffic for about a week during the cleanup. Jury selection began today in the first group of lawsuits filed against Tenneco Oil Company. The suits stem from an explosion at Tenneco's Chalmette refinery. The explosion occurred in 1983 after sparks ignited gasoline fumes and sent fire and smoke hundreds of feet into the air. 13 lawsuits have been consolidated into one, and still officials believe the case could last as long as 2 months.
Former New Orleans City Councilman Wayne Babovich is free tonight. Babovich was released earlier this morning from a federal prison in Huntsville, Alabama, where he has spent the last 75 days. A federal judge cut Babovich's 6-month jail term, allowing for his early release. The former city official was serving time after pleading guilty last January to conspiracy charges.
Delgado Community College officials are taking steps to improve safety following last week's accident involving baseball team members. Action reporter Bill Capo has the story.
This is the van Delgado College baseball team members were riding in last Friday when a tire blew out in Slidell. The van flipped over, injuring 12 players. School officials are thankful that the accident, as serious as it was not worse. There are other vans for students to use, but Delgado President Harry Boyer says the vans will be sidelined in the future. Dr. Boyer says it takes up to 5 vans to transport athletic teams and supporters, multiplying the chances of an accident.
I think it's just a dangerous situation, and so I've just made a decision that I don't want to go through this ever again. I don't want to ever put a parent through this again.
Dr. Boyer plans to buy a large inner-city bus like this one with a price tag of $25,000 to $40,000. But state officials who control Delgado's budget have frowned on spending state dollars that way.
And usually they think we were just going to use it to travel with our athletic team, and that's not true. Our students are on the road.
To raise money to pay for the bus, a fundraising drive has been started, and a committee has been set up to monitor that drive, and Governor Edwards is the honorary chairman.
The student government has approved on behalf of the students at Delgado $5,000, which would go towards the purchase of a bus for the institution.
Delgado officials are depending on donations from the community. You can write to the Delgado Athletic Bus Fund, care of the Delgado Alumni Association, at 501 City Park Avenue in New Orleans. The zip code is 70119. Besides direct donations, there will be other interesting ways to help buy the bus.
A Las Vegas night, a raffle of an automobile, food fest.
Until the college can afford to buy the bus, they plan to lease one for students to use. I'm Bill Capo, Eyewitness News, Action Reporter.
Edmonton's 2-year reign as hockey champs comes to a surprising end.
Jim is next.
George, you've got MCI long distance. Think it's right for my business?
MCI? Wall Street's top banks and brokers use it. 5 of the big 6 automakers, 9 of the top 10 oil companies, plus hundreds of thousands of other businesses save hundreds of millions of dollars with MCI.
But I'm a small plane.
Planes? 6 top airlines use MCI for interstate calls anytime, coast to coast.
Call MCI. We sound better to business.
Now, W&J Sloan, America's oldest fine furniture store, comes to New Orleans. W&J Sloan offering classic and distinctive home furnishings for 143 years. Our reputation reflects timeless quality, value, and service. To celebrate our grand opening in New Orleans, we invite you to experience exceptional savings on quality home furnishings and accessories. W&J Sloan, quality home furnishings since 1843. The best things just naturally last longer.
I'm Susie. I'm Judy. We're the Rap Twins.
A special gift for someone special. You'll find it at Raps.
Raps gives you great value in luggage, leather goods, briefcases, all with a personal touch. Raps has a beautiful choice of gifts just for you. When it's hard to find, you'll find it at Raps. Raps has luggage that lasts and gifts with class. So wrap it at Raps.
A special gift for someone special. You'll find it at Raps. You'll find it at Raps.
It's getting late. Maybe I'll make some breakfast.
Didn't you make me breakfast once before?
My biscuits were terrible.
Those were biscuits. I've been wondering for 20 years.
Well, the coffee was good.
We've been drinking Community for a long time. I'm glad they make this decaf. I couldn't give up the rich flavor. Other decafs taste so weak.
Well, how about that breakfast?
Oh, let's just stick with the coffee.
Enjoy rich Community flavor in a decaf.
We were just talking about why the Kentucky Derby is not more publicized this year. We don't hear a lot about it.
Well, it comes right after the draft, for one thing, although it usually does. So I think that's one reason. And there aren't an awful lot of great horses out there, most people feel. But people will be interested in it by Saturday, I assure you that. It'll be a field of 16 for Saturday's 112th Kentucky Derby. The field that looks to be one of the poorest in recent years drew for post positions today. Snow Chief, the early 6-5 favorite, drew the number 12 post. Badgerland, the second choice in the early line at 3-1, will start in the 10th position, just fine with his trainer.
Your concerns in a large field are always an inside post because you're in the gate for a little longer, and an outside post you've got an auxiliary gate. 15 to 16 will be in the auxiliary gate, so those are really your two concerns. Other than that, you just want to be in position where your horse gets a clean break and will have a smooth trip down the racetrack.
Steve Smith, a fairly innocuous name, not terribly memorable, until last night. Now, certainly no hockey fan in Edmonton or Calgary will forget the rookie defenseman's name for the Oilers. His clearing pass goes off his own goalie for the game-winning goal as Calgary eliminates Edmonton from the NHL playoffs 4-3.
Well, it was a big mistake, and I've got to, live up to it. And, I've disappointed the guys, but, I think that I've just got to keep going.
It's not very often when a Western Conference team has a chance to beat the Lakers in the Forum. Last night, the Mavericks had that chance, leading by as many as 7 points in the final quarter before succumbing 117 to 113. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar had a lethargic first half, but he was there when it counted down the stretch. He led the Lakers with 26 points on the night. L.A. was down by 12 late in the second quarter and trailed throughout most of the fourth period. They came back to lead by 3 with only seconds remaining. But the Mavericks threw away the ball while trying to set up the three-point shot, and that sealed their fate. The Lakers lead the series 2-0. 3 years ago, Syracuse University won a national recruiting battle for guard Dwayne Pearl Washington. Tomorrow, the university will find out how it fared against another suitor for the Pearl's talents, the NBA. The junior point guard will announce then if he's making himself eligible for the NBA draft on June 17th. Syracuse lost a lot of good players to graduation this year, plus Washington's known to be anxious to get away from the zone defenses in college, which hamper his strong one-on-one game. About 3 weeks ago, Jack Nicklaus exhibited that he still has the magic touch. If he still has it off the course in the business world as well, it could prove most meaningful to the New Orleans economy and sports scene. Earlier this week, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers gave its final approval to Nicklaus to begin construction here of his English Turn golf course on the lower coast of Algiers. If some economic hurdles are overcome, English Turn will be developed as the home of the USF&G Golf Classic, and that means locking in that tournament's biggest drawing card as its course's creator.
I think it probably will. If you see the places where he plays now on the courses that he built, he's always in the field, and we feel that, that Jack will be supportive of the tournament, and hopefully his sons, as they turn professional, they'll come here and play also.
Not only will Jack's influence on his fellow pros help draw a better field at his new course, Wolf says, so will the course itself.
Over the years, some players have developed a dislike for Lakewood, as they would for any golf course. We feel that at least for the first few years, while the golfers are getting used to the new golf course, that will attract bigger and better fields than we've ever had before.
Now, because of delays, it looks like the USF&G won't be able to move to English Turn in '88 as hoped, and that could make for a ticklish negotiation with the facility the USF&G will be leaving.
I think that we're going to have to go back to Lakewood and say we would like to extend our contract to the '88 year. I don't think the golf course will be ready for '88 as we had prior planned. So contractually, we're going to be at Lakewood in 1987, and in all probability play there in 1988 if they want us.
Quite a bit of action in the majors this afternoon. Moose Haas is 5-0 as the A's defeat the Brewers 7-2. In the National League, the Pirates knock off the Giants 6-2. The Padres over the Cardinals 4-3, and the Braves leading the Mets 6-1 through 4.
Sounds good. And still ahead, Dave will be along with the forecast.
And later, a special trip to the zoo.
Time's running out. Your Toyota dealer's great port clearance sales event ends soon. These are America's #1 selling compact trucks, and your Toyota dealer is selling off his biggest inventory of the year. He's out to break his all-time sales record. So see your Toyota dealer today, but only if you're interested in truck deals, car deals, and van deals. Prices may never be lower. This is your last chance. Toyota's great port clearance sales event is coming to a close. Don't miss out.
Want to pick up the best truck deal around? Well, come and get it at Toyota of Jefferson and Toyota West Bank. We'll give you a $2,500 minimum trade-in allowance on anything you can push, pull, or drag into the dealership. So you can drive out an NESR 5 truck in stock. Or how about leasing the standard bed, including extras, just $84 a month. At Toyota of Jefferson and Toyota West Bank, the deals keep coming so the trucks can keep rolling straight at you.
For anything more, Toyota.
Nice one.
Feels so good. Coming down, coming down, down. Feels so good. Life surging up. Let it pour, crashing cool and bright. Keeps you looking so good. Feels so bright. Feels so good.
On the one hand, we're a network of sophisticated communications technology. On the other, we're a network of people making that technology work for you and your business. Together, we're South Central Bell. If you're looking for the right answers to your complex communications needs, there's one name you need to remember.
South Central Bell.
Call on us.
What is this international marine data?
Yes, there's an International Marine Data Symposium. That's where we get, those people are the people that design all the systems to get weather observations out of the Atlantic and the Gulf on their buoys and everything, and they're having a big deal over there at the Hyatt Regency. They have one of their buoys on display between the Hyatt and also the Superdome. They gave me a weather observation from it, and they've got 82 degrees, southerly winds at 4 miles per hour. Fair skies, and the pressure is 3009, they tell me. What do you think of that?
Can anybody go over there and look at it?
I'm sure they can go over and take a look at that buoy. I think it would be a great thing. It's from the Weather Service National Data Buoy Office over at Bay St. Louis over there. Great. Well, I'll go over there and take a look at it. You go and take a look at it. It's partly cloudy and also 82 at the airport at the present time. Audubon with 83, Slidell 82. The pressure 30.02 inches steady. The humidity 65%. Wind south at 13. And the high today got up to a summer-like 88 degrees. The overnight low this morning, a summer-like also. 70 degrees, of course, no rain, but that may not last too long. Let's take a look at radar right now and see what's going on, and here it is. There are some widely scattered showers here to the northeast of us and to the northwest and west of us. Some scattered showers and thunderstorms showing up there. They're moving very slowly toward the east and south at the present time, and I think later on tonight, perhaps after 9 or 10 o'clock tonight around midnight, some of those will finally filter into the greater New Orleans area, and we'll have those scattered showers and thunderstorms tomorrow, but they should be ending by tomorrow evening, and I think we'll have a fine weekend the way it looks right now. 88 was the highest in the area at Audubon and also here at Terrytown, reported by Bob Walters. The normal for this time of year is 82, so we were pretty much above normal as far as temperatures are concerned. And here's the broader area of showers and thunderstorms. You can see well to the northwest, a lot of showers and thunderstorms. We're just almost bound to get showers and thunderstorms. If we don't, I'll be greatly surprised. So let's hope that'll take care of some of our dry weather. As you know, we were some 3 inches below normal for the month of April. We only had 1.5 inches. Much of the southeast, incidentally, critically dry with a lot of records set for dry April. But you can see here, partly cloudy skies throughout the area. A nice day, but a warm and humid one. And the bigger picture shows more showers to the southwest of us and also to the north of us, with scattered showers even up in the northeastern part of the country. And it was a mixed bag nationwide. I'll step out of the picture and you can see anywhere from cloudy to clear over the country, with most of the clear skies being right there in the nation's midsection. The front is moving into the northwestern part of the state at the present time. Moist flow from the Gulf, although it's kind of weak flow, it's still enough that with the front, it's producing some scattered showers and thunderstorms, as you saw a moment ago. An upper air low pressure system also is enhancing the possibility of showers.
By tomorrow at this time, I think the front will either be in our area or just to the south of us, and our winds around to the southeast, and sometime the latter part of tomorrow, we should see the showers diminishing and moving on out of the area, so that by the weekend, we're going to have a nice time with lower humidities and slightly lower temperatures. This evening, warm and humid, not much chance for showers in the immediate area here, way to the north and west, maybe a few showers, temperatures remaining in the 70s. Overnight tonight, the scattered showers and thunderstorms gradually working their way in from the west and from the north over the area, and then scattered showers and thunderstorms tomorrow. Highs a little lower than today, 78 to 82 degrees. And the extended forecast calls for the weekend to be less humid, fair and mild on Sunday, though, and it looks like it's going to warm back up and become more humid again by Tuesday. A few more clouds on Tuesday as well. The winds tomorrow will get around to the northeast and the coastal sections, 10 to 18 knots, seas 3 to 5 feet. Look for some scattered thunderstorms later on tonight and tomorrow, ending before the weekend begins, the way things look right now. Lake temperature all the way up to 77 degrees now, and the sea temperature is 74. The range on the tides 1 foot, and the Mississippi River stands at 7.3 feet.
Sounds fine.
Nice weekend underway.
Thank you, Dave. We'll choose any of a dozen of the recreational spots in the city, and they all have something to offer the family. But none is so prone to bring out the children in us as the spot Frank Davis went today on Naturally New Orleans.
All right, y'all, quit all that roughhousing. You know, I guess ever since I was a little kid growing up in New Orleans, this has always been one of my favorite parts of the city, Audubon Zoo. I don't know whether it's the outdoors, the atmosphere, the sights, the sounds, or what it is. Or maybe it's just kids. Because if you stop and think about it for a minute, kids make the zoo. Come see, I'll show you what I mean.
That's Corolla.
A Corolla? A Corolla? No, a Corolla is a car. No, is that a gorilla or a monkey?
That's a gorilla.
You better, yeah, climb up there. Here, get up and climb up there and get another look. That's what it is. It's a Corolla. A Corolla monkey gorilla. I'm telling you, kids make the zoo. But of all the animals they see, they like the elephants best. Boy, he was a big one, huh? Oh, how big was he? That big? No kidding, that big? Animals are fun to look at, but so is throwing money in the wishing well. 1, 2, 3, throw the money. See? Now you got a crying baby, and I'm leaving. Of course, it's always fun to do zoo imitations. Can you do that?
Why he do that?
I don't know why he do that. And you can't go to the zoo without snacks. Hey, you're welcome. When it comes to the zoo, you're always a kid. Y'all don't care how many times you heard me say, I'm Frank Davis for Channel 4 Eyewitness News. But look, that's Naturally New Orleans. Look at that. Now that's Naturally New Orleans. All the guy needs is a beer and a box of chicken. You know what I'm telling you?
What people have got to see is that new seal exhibit.
Yes.
Incredible. They've got an underwater exhibit where you can see them swimming underwater. Beautiful new exhibit. Got to go. That's our news for now. Thank you for watching.
Till 10, have a good evening.